Runs Driven in Winter Edition. We've got a special guest today, Mike Rizzo. I always introduce you with your title, but you know what? We're just going to drive around the world's greatest city and just bro out and talk about things. Is that cool?
That's the best part of this whole thing.
Well, you know, you always travel with the team. You get there early, you watch batting practice. You have your half counselor during the season and picking guys up and pumping them up all the time. But take us through an average day when there's no baseball.
This is the time where we create the roster. Once the game started, it's much more difficult. Obviously, there's a lot more rules. We've added 9 new players for this year so far, and we're far from done. We've got a month before spring training. There's a bunch of free agents still out there, a bunch of trade candidates. So we're still going to remain busy. And when the off season's done and spring training starts, we want to think that we have a 90-win type of team on paper. The games aren't played on paper. I get that. I've heard that, and I agree with it. But my job is to create a roster analytically, in the eyes of the scouts, and with the coaching staff, has a chance to win 90 games. Now, 90 games sometimes, some years means 85, or sometimes 82. Sometimes it means 95 or 98. So depending on luck, happenstance, injuries, health, all that stuff, it varies. But my job is to put together a 90-win team on paper that can compete in the National League East and in the National League. We think we've accomplished that this year. The additions of Corbin and Dozier and Gomes, Suzuki, Rosenthal, Bearclaw, coming of age of Robles and Soto, another year away from surgery for Eaton, with Scherzer, Strasburg, Corbin, Anibal Sanchez, a great ad. The players I know are working extremely, extremely hard, and I think that as far as talent-wise, we're as good as anybody.
You know, your dad was in scouting. You love the game so much. Talk about your dad's influence on your career.
89 years old, sharp as can be, as stubborn as can be, and what he taught me, in all seriousness, is work ethic. This is a man who worked 32 years for the city of Chicago. He was a truck driver and worked his way up to civil service foreman, and got up every morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, rain, sleet, snow, freezing temperatures, to get out and grind it out and go to work to put me and my brothers and sisters through Catholic school and paid for our lives. So the work ethic is what he's instilled in me.
When you're part of an organization for a long time, like you have been, it has such a family atmosphere. You know the wives, you know the players, parents, and I don't think fans realize that. I feel like they think, we check in, we talk about it on TV, you check in, you check batting averages, but talk about that aspect of being involved with an organization and getting to know everybody, the wives, the kids, the family atmosphere that we have with the Nationals.
We know when their kids are sick. I know when their birthdays are, when their anniversaries. We have family trips with them because when mama's happy, the players are happy, and they have a life. They have a life outside of baseball that is just like everybody else's. You put the added burden on these guys that there's a lot of pressure on them. They're celebrities in town, and they have to contribute to a winning organization. So all that is added pressure on them. I meet with the wives each spring training to figure out what their needs and wants are, and we try to accommodate them because this is it takes a village. It really does. To win in this league is so tough. The margin for error is so thin that you have to communicate. You have to be together, and it really makes the season flow so much better.
Not making the playoffs last year and being right around 500, a little over 500. Has that made you appreciate winning the titles? Has that made you change your expectations? And what are your expectations for 2019?
No, it's just disappointing we didn't. My expectations they're always high. Mediocre doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for our ownership. It doesn't work for the players in the clubhouse. Yet my expectations are high. We've created a monster, which is good, because you know what? I've been the other side when the expectations are so low that it's a miserable season for us, and I don't want to go back to there. We've had a couple of 100-loss seasons. Since then, we've won as many or more games than everybody in baseball except for one team. I'm very proud of that. We have not won the World Series. I've won one in 2001 with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and that feeling cannot be matched. And we won't rest. Ownership won't rest. Our front office won't rest, and our players won't rest until we have a parade down Pennsylvania Avenue.
We're heading back to Nats Park right now. driving around town with Mike Rizzo. Great job. It was fun catching up with you, and it's good to see you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you down in West Palm Beach.
Always a pleasure.